Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Venerable monks, upasakas, upasikas. So today is New Moon Day. Is one of the day when the monks they gather together and and recite the Patimokkha. So Patimokkha are the disciplinary rules, or you can say a guiding path for the monks, how they should lead their life, how their life should be governed. So we are supposed to chant all the rules of a monk, 227 in the Sima. So that's what we did today, and we also do that on full moon day as well. So every full moon day and new moon day, it is also known as Uposatha day. And on these days, even family people, householders, upasakas, upasikas, can choose to undertake Ashta-shila, the 8 shilas, precept. Generally, householders have 5 precepts, but on these days one can choose to take up 8 precepts as well. So we consider it as a important day in the month, full moon day, new moon day. One of the reasons is throughout the earth, throughout the world, many people do undertake some spiritual practice in a more vigorous manner, by following Shila or by practicing meditation or contemplating on Dhamma. So there is a global energy, the global energy that revolves. So it's therefore one of the reasons for it to be a special day, So today I wish to share a sutta which I shared with the monks this morning in the Sima. It's the analogy of horse. So horse was one of the important member of the society, in the time of in those time, until we had automobile, cars and other thing. Horses were a big part of our society, whether for transportation or for battle and for other reasons. So even the kings, they would have horse as their member for transportation and for the battle, So Buddha takes up the example of horse, And that too, the royal horse, a horse which is suitable for the king, a very strong, trained, powerful horse. You see. So it's also very easy for us to sometime get the teaching of Buddha through some examples. It helps us to understand. So in this sutta it is mentioned about the 8 qualities of a royal horse. And the royal horse, which has 8 qualities. In the same way, how a spiritual practitioner, a monk or upasakas, upasikas, they should also have these 8 qualities, so that they can move ahead. And also this sutta, I feel, also makes us once again clear about the teaching of the Buddha. It gives us that kind of clarity again, and that kind of to relook at the teaching practice, in a different ways, and to look it again. So it really helps us. So I will go through the sutta. It's called Assājānīyasutta. Assa means horse. Also in Dhammapada, there is a lot of mention about the horse. A lot of you can, I think, maybe in which Vagga, Naga Vagga, about the horse, which chapter it is, like Varanga Satara Danta Ajaniya Cha Sindava. So Buddha is saying, a fine royal thoroughbred with 8 factors is worthy of a king, fit to serve a king, and consider a factor of kingship. What 8? So say a fine royal thoroughbred. So if the horse is fine, horse is great, it is fit for the king, to serve to a king. So number 1, a fine royal thoroughbred is well born on both the mother's and the father's sides and breed in the region where fine thoroughbred come from. The first one is the horse mother and father should be of certain breed, and also in certain region. So the horse can just like these days we have dogs, German Shepherd or Russian Husk, what is called. So like that particular region, so the horse, if they are born from a very strong mother and father, and also in a place which is suitable for the horse to grow, that is the first quality of a horse, a royal horse. So now what do we learn from it? It is said that a person is ethical, restrained in the monastic code, conducting themselves well, and seeks alms in suitable places, seeing danger in the slightest fault, they keep the precept they have undertaken. So it is more directed to monks, but is something even household upasakas can also. Which means somebody is ethical, somebody who is following the Shila, or discipline. So what it means is that we have certain values, So for the householder, it is the 5 precepts, not to kill, not to steal, not to commit sexual misconduct, not to tell lie, and not to engage in alcohol. So this kind of thing, and conducting themselves well, which is in terms of their behavior. So we have to conduct our behavior in the best way. And slightest fault. So sometimes there are certain smaller things we tend to neglect, but something we should try not to neglect even some minor, smaller mistakes as well. So that way our breeding happens, just like the horse. So, which means the Shila, Shila is very important. It is like the base. It's called Shila, virtue or precept. So this is very important for those of you who are interested in meditation. They should also be practicing Shila. Otherwise, without Shila, meditation becomes difficult. Because let's say you have not followed certain Shila, and that sort of comes back in the mind again and again, disturbs the mind, which means your conduct. In other words, Shila simple way is your ethics. Your ethics. It is called ethical values. We talk about ethics, right? Certain values, ethical values. That's something that we should have. So it's just like if the mother and father in the horse, mother, father, and the place is good, then the horse becomes stronger. So also our mother and father in spiritual life is our Shila, our ethical values. Second is, whatever food he is given, fresh or dry, he eats carefully without making a mess. So the second quality of a royal horse, the royal horse, is whatever food you give to that horse, whether it is wet, fresh, dry, whatever kind of food it is, and the royal horse eats in a very methodical way. It eats from one corner. It doesn't make a mess. It doesn't throw around. Disciplined eating. The royal horse eats in a very disciplined way. So you see, so that is one of the quality. And what do we learn? Whatever food they are given, whether solid or subtle, they eat carefully without causing any trouble. So this is especially for monks. Of course, the monks have to be more equanimous about the food. The monk should not make a fuss out of food. Okay, I want this food, that food, all of that. Just eat whatever is there. So, but for your own, in your life, in the householder's family life, it is also, I think, applicable, because when it comes to food, especially in today's time, last time I spoke about food also, is that we tend to eat a lot of junk food, a lot of oily food, a lot of spicy food, which is not healthy, isn't it? So it's also like a discipline in food. Of course, discipline in food is considered as one of the important factor in spiritual path as well. Not overeating and, eating healthy, that kind of thing. And time, Buddha mentioned about don't eat too late in the night, which is because the food is doesn't give nutrition if you eat too late in the night, So that kind of thing. So some kind of a discipline with regard to food, it is quite similar, So without causing any trouble. So you don't trouble the one who makes food, which is your mother. So you don't become kind of a pampered child. You become a bit more contented. He is disgusted by sitting or lying in excrement or urine. So the royal horse will not like to just lie down on some dirty urine or excrement, dirty place basically. It maintains cleanliness, kind of a cleanliness. The royal horse won't just lie down anywhere in any dirty place. It wants some clean. It maintains a clean body, So also, how do we learn from that? They are disgusted with bad conduct by way of body, speech or mind, and with the attainment of various unskillful things. So here, what is the dirty things in the spiritual path? It is the unwholesome, unhealthy conduct by body, speech and mind. So there are three kinds of action. That is mano kamma, vachi kamma, kaya kamma. Mano kamma is the action from the mind, and vachi kamma, the action from the speech, and kaya kamma by the body. You see. So these are the different action. By body, three things: not killing, not stealing, not committing sexual misconduct. By speech, not telling lie, not backbiting, not using harsh speech, not gossiping. And by mind, don't be covetous and ill will and wrong view, which is not believing in action and its result. So all these are called 10 kinds of action: 3 by body, 4 by speech, and 3 by mind. So this unwholesome. So you are somehow, you feel disgusted. You feel when it comes to some of this wrong action by body, speech, and mind, you are disgusted. You don't want to do it, right? You see it as filthy. You see it as filthy, as something impure. You see. So just like the horse, look at this urine and other dirty as something not clean, not good for the body, for the cleanliness of the body. So also, you look at this unwholesome action by body, speech, and mind. Similarly. And what is the number 4? What is the number 4 quality, number 4th quality of a royal horse? He is sweet nature, pleasant to live with, and does not upset the other horses. So number 4th quality of a royal horse, royal thoroughbred horse, is that he is sweet to live with, pleasant to live, and does not create problem for other horses. You see, it doesn't create, it doesn't harm other horses. It is very sweet to live with, So what do we learn from this quality? They are sweet nature, pleasant to live with, and do not upset other mendicants, other monks. So what we have to learn is we also have to be sweet to each other, pleasant to each other, kind and compassionate to each other, and we should not create trouble for others. Because of us, others should not have a problem, whether it is in the family, in the workplace. We have to be sweet. We have to be kind and compassionate, should not create a problem for anybody, because that's also very important for the spiritual practice. Some people, they think that just go to the temple, do some puja or ritual, that's the end of spirituality. They think they are religious, they think they are spiritual, but that's not enough. Spirituality is very much part of our life. We have how we connect with people, how we are sweet, pleasant to people. You see, so this is the fourth quality of a royal horse, and something we have to learn. And number fifth, he openly shows his trick, bluffs, rushes, and feint to their trainer so that the trainer can correct them. So number fifth is the royal horse is, you can say, open to correction. So it shows its own weaknesses, its own difficulties to the horse trainer, the royal horse trainer. You see, so that the royal horse trainer can guide and can train that horse, the royal horse. So what do we learn from that quality of the horse? They openly reveal their tricks, bluffs, and rushes and feints to sensible spiritual companion, so they can be corrected and trained. So we need to, what we can learn from this quality of the horse is that we are open about our own weaknesses, our own difficulties, to some sensible people, to some wise people who can guide us, who can help us to come out of such difficulty, such kind of our own spiritual difficulty or our own mind. So it's also important for us to not shy away from speaking about our own weaknesses, our own difficulties, because we all have some weaknesses, isn't it? We all have some weaknesses. So even as we try to practice Dhamma, spirituality, we encounter a lot of difficulties, outside and inside of us, and we get stuck somewhere on the path. So it's important for us to get guidance, some kind of training and guidance from some spiritual people who can guide us, in whom we have some confidence, some faith and confidence that they can guide us. So this is something also important for us to have. As Buddha said, somebody who is maybe your friend, is kind of a spiritual friend or a spiritual teacher, or somebody whom you think have some spiritual abilities. And number 6, he carries his load determined. Whether or not the other horses carry their loads, I will carry mine. So number 6 quality of a royal horse is that it does its duty no matter what, whether, irrespective of whether other horses are doing their duty or not, carrying things, carrying this and that, because sometime maybe because see the other horse they are not doing so, they look at this horse, look at the other horse, and then it does the same, right? It's that company, when you are in a company, you get influenced by others, isn't it? So what do we learn from that? They train diligently, determined. Whether or not the other mendicants train, I will do my training. Which means, whether or not other people walk on the spiritual path, but I will do anyway, right? So you shouldn't get discouraged if some others are not following the path, if others are not following the spiritual path. Don't worry, if they don't want to, let them not. It is their business, it is their thing. So you should be determined. You should be focused. You should be consistent and undisturbed, undistracted, distracted by other people, by your family members or by your friends or whatever, but you do your duty anyway, right? We can also say, sometime if you're working in a in a company or whatever, you see some of your other colleague are not doing their work or trying to evade the work. If you're a student, some of your other students, they try to evade, bunk the class or something like that. So, but you have to do it anyway, right? You have to keep going, and you should not be. You should not take the example of some other people who take something wrong. A lot of people, they say that, in the world, majority of people are going somewhere, in a certain way. So, but don't bother. You have to go or do your thing anyway. Do your duty. Do your own duty. Your own work, your own duty. Certain commitment, right? You have when you are committed to something, you have to do it, even if some others are not doing. And number 7, he always walk on a straight path. So number 7 quality of a horse is that it always goes in the straight path. You see, some of the horse may leave the path, go somewhere. If they see some grass, they may just go there, try to graze, eat the grass or whatever, for something and some or other thing. But the royal horse is very disciplined. It goes straight on the path, distracted by whatever on the way. So what do we learn from the quality of the horse? They walk on the straight path, meaning right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right immersion, right samadhi. So the straight path, the going on the straight path is the noble effort path. So the horse has to go on a path to reach somewhere. So also we have this path, the noble effort path, which is right understanding. Right understanding, that is understanding what is right, what is wrong, what is wholesome or unwholesome, and and what is wholesome, unwholesome. Something which is associated with greed, hatred, ignorance is unwholesome. So also right intention, that is something, the intention of loving, caring, and sharing. So that is the right intention. So your intention should always be, how can I love, care, and share to myself and others. That should always be the intention, not the other way, which is hate and cheating, and instead of caring, just hurting, hating, hurting, and grabbing. That is the wrong intention, but the right intention is loving, caring, and sharing. It's very important for us, right? Because whatever we are doing in our life, we should see the intention. Whatever am I doing this for myself and others, with the motivation of loving, caring, and sharing. These are the 3 things you can ask yourself, your motivation. You can just ask yourself, what should be my motivation? And these 3 are the motivation. It should not be, there is no other motivation. The motivation, of course, you may be doing hundreds of things, but the motivation should be loving, caring, and sharing, which is opposite of hating, hurting, and grabbing. So, and then right speech. And when your intention is right, then you will speak right. Which is Right speech is, I mentioned already, that is not telling lie, not telling the truth, using pleasant speech, using speech that unites people, and using speech that can bring some values to our life. Whenever we sit and talk, we should see that can this conversation bring some qualities, some kind of values to my life. That is right speech. And right action, of course, to not kill but to save, to give, to share, but not to cheat and grab, and to lead to respect each other as men and women, to respect each other, the relationship, to respect each other. That is right. And then right livelihood, which means something, any profession which doesn't harm, something like, say, butchering, killing animals, that kind of profession, where you kill animals or use some poison or weapon, all of that, or any profession that is more harmful to the people. And right effort is to make an effort to not allow negative thoughts to come in your mind, and if it comes to put it away and to develop positive thought, right? Sometimes people say, I don't get positive, but you have to make an effort. Positive thought cannot just come on their own. You have to put in effort. You have to put in effort, and you have to know what is positive thought also in the first place, right? So positive thought is nothing, as I mentioned, loving, caring, and sharing. Something which is what can I do, which is for the love, care, and sharing. How can I share? How can I love? How can I care? So that kind of thoughts, good thoughts, and then to protect it, to keep in your mind. If you have developed certain positive thought, how can you keep it more lasting, for longer time in your mind? That is right effort. Then right mindfulness, which is to be mindful of your body, your bodily movement or bodily activity, as well as, you can say, as simple as, say, when you are driving, if you are driving, how do you drive mindfully, to look around, to see, and you are walking, so also you are doing some work, you are doing mindfully, which means you are mindfully just doesn't mean to be focused, but at the same time to be mindful of the outcome of the activity, in what way it helps others and myself. Because, for example, if you drive mindfully with the intention that if I drive mindfully, people around won't be harmed, won't be hurt, that is, you see, the intention comes there. So also any other activity that you do, for example, in your home you are doing something, so you do in a way which doesn't cause trouble to other member of the family, right? You do at a time which is convenient for the other members of the family as well. You don't disturb other members in the family, such kind of thing, right? So that is right, and also it is the practice of meditation as well, because when you are practicing meditation, you are being mindful of the body and the breath that comes under the body. Then mindfulness of your feelings, whatever you're feeling, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral feeling, to be mindful of that and not to be disturbed by unpleasant feeling, not to be excited by a pleasant feeling and be attached to that, and also to be mindful of the thoughts, different thoughts that come in your mind, what kinds of thoughts which are coming, and also if it is not if it is not during meditation, other time, whatever your sensory consciousness, that is what you are seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling and touching, and including the thought, to be mindful of that, so that it doesn't, in some way you are able to manage those thoughts, or manage your mind, basically your consciousness, or your involvement, you can say sensory involvement, I would say sensory involvement, which is including the mind, is also one of the sense, right? Then also be aware of your own deeper pattern, deeper pattern, sankhara. Those pattern can be what we call inclination, habit, we can call it. So to be aware of that, and how and make an effort to be mindful of them, and to kind of manage them, to kind of again, making an effort to actually all this Eightfold Path in some way it is combined, right? So it's not like they are separated, everything is just one basically. So for example, I spoke about thoughts, right? So you have to be aware of thought. So it's just that you have to be aware of the thought only, or you have to do something. So you have to do something which is the right effort, So you can see the right effort and right mindfulness are connected, But then what is right effort? Again, the intention, which is the second path, you see. And speech, good speech. But why? What is good speech? It is again the intention, and then the right effort and the mindfulness, you see. So they are just interwoven, interconnected. They're just one, right? So, but for the sake of clarity, Buddha has classified as 8, but they're just one, you see. Just like for the horse, there's just one road, right? There are no 8 roads, isn't it? The horse has just one road. And then finally, right, samadhi, the 8th one, which is a deep stillness of the mind, a deep stability of the mind, equanimity of mind. You see, today people talk about, oh, my mind is not stable, or some people say that everything is okay, but I still don't know, something is missing. I get to hear that a lot, It's not like they have a problem in life, but it just they are still not feeling, feeling fulfilled. So for that you need to have samadhi, which is through deep stillness of mind and deep serenity of the mind, equanimity of mind, stability of mind. That can come, of course, through deep meditation, right? Right intention, speech is all good, but they are not complete without this deep meditation as well. So which means the meditation is also important, as well as other day-to-day activity is also important, right? They're all important. They're just one, and in fact they are interdependent. They just mutually dependent on each other. You see. So this is the right right straight path. So this Eightfold Path is a straight path. So is there any? Do you see any kind of non-straight in the Eightfold Path? Of course, you have to check if there is something which is diverted. There is no diversion. It's very clear. It's just about our life. How do we? It's a path in our life. It's a kind of a guideline and the path through which we can take our life forward. Now the last one, which is the eighth one, the quality of a horse. He is strong and remains strong even until death. So this royal horse, it is very strong. It remains stable and strong and focused and determined, energetic all the way till its death. Even in the battle, the royal horse will not move back. It will just go on and on, go forward, go ahead, even though there will be a lot of arrows coming from all around, but the royal horse still move ahead, march ahead. So that's one of the quality of a royal horse. So what do we learn from that? So the Buddha says, what we learn is they are energetic and determined. Gladly, let my skin, sinews, and bones remain. Let the blood and flesh waste away in my body. I will not stop striving until I achieve what can be attained through human strength, energy, and vigor. So the last one is that this is of course more specifically to spiritual practice, especially the meditation and all the Eightfold Path that I have mentioned. But it is something that can be applied in your normal day-to-day existence as well, in which spirituality is included. So now you are clear about the path, but you need to, be. You will come across a lot of, say, hurdles, obstacles, difficulties, challenges, when you try to walk on the right path, on the path which is going to take you up. But you will definitely come across a lot of obstacles. But how do you, remain strong? How do you remain equanimous, stable, consistent, resilient? So that is very important. So that's something we need to practice. We need to follow. Which is to face all the challenges and to overcome all the different challenges, difficulties that can come in our life for, say, our own life, worldly normal life, as well as for spiritual practice. I think if you're not determined, if you don't have a path in life, then of course you are already unstable. You are already, but if you are on the path, still you have some difficulty, quite a difficulties, even to maintain that kind of consistency. It is going to be there anyway. So how do you, remain strong, stable, patient, consistent? That's something we need to learn from a royal horse. Okay, so before I conclude, let me just read out the qualities of a royal horse. Number 1, a fine royal thoroughbred horse is well born on both the mother and father's side and bred in the region where fine thoroughbred come from. Number 2, whatever food he is given, fresh or dry, he eats carefully without making a mess. Number 3, he is disgusted by sitting or lying down in excrement or urine. Number 4, he is sweet nature, pleasant to live with, and does not upset the other horses. Number 5, he openly shows his trick, bluffs, rushes, and feint to his trainer so that the trainer can correct them. Number 6, he carries his load, determined whether or not the other's horse carry their loads, I will carry mine. Number 7, he always walks on a straight path. Number 8, he is strong and remains strong even until death. A fine royal thoroughbred with these 8 factors is worthy of a king. So, in the same way, a monk with 8 qualities is worthy of offering, dedicated to gods, worthy of hospitality, worthy of a religious donation, worthy of greeting with joined palms, and is the supreme field of merit for the world. So this is more spoken to the monks, but it is something that you can also learn. Just like a monk can learn from a horse, upasakas, upasikas can also learn from a horse. You see, from a monk, from a horse. So this is the analogy, and let us all be a strong horse, like a strong horse, like a strong royal horse, you see. So let's be sweet, let's be kind, let's be disciplined, let's be disgusted with unwholesome thing, unhealthy thing, and let's be straight, move straight on the path, and let's be stable on the path, consistent on the path. So these are some of the things that we can. So these are the qualities that we can all learn. So we have to be really, move. Just like finally, if you see the final, which is the determination, you have to really determine on the path, just like the horse. Okay, so this is my teaching from the sutta. Sutta name is Assājānīyasutta from Anguttara Nikaya 8.13 sutta. So this is the sutta that we can learn, and we can contemplate, we can reflect throughout our practice, and especially this week. So it's a reflection for you this week. So until next Sunday, we come up with some other sutta, and till then I wish all of you good health, peace of mind and happiness. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.